Hello everyone. I'm Yumu from Susan's family. Today, I'm sharing with you Miao Village Pillowcase Blanket from the 4 Seas Tour collection. For the charts of this project and crocheting guidance, please search for our website by the keyword sousoude.com. This blanket is made up of motifs, piecing, edging, border and buttons. First, we'll make the motifs. We have Motif A, Motif B, Motif C, Motif D, and Motif E. After completing them, we join them together, then make the edging and the border. Finally, add the buttons. Let's crochet Motif A. We'll make a chain ring to start and crochet in rounds counterclockwise. Then, work back and forth for gusset. Next, crochet in rounds. Finally, add the decorations. We will change colors while crocheting. Several stitch techniques will be needed, and they are all marked on the chart. I won't list them one by one here. Please watch as I work. Take out the corresponding yarn. The yarn for the sample is chosen randomly. For specific yarn, color combinations, and hook sizes, please refer to the detail page of our product and the paper instructions. Start with a chain ring. Make a knot. Then chain 8. Fold it in half. Position the side with the clear braid-like texture facing you. Do not twist the braids. Insert the front ridge of the first chain. That is one strand like this, and make one slip stitch. Slightly tighten. The chain ring is now complete. Begin round 1. First, chain 1 as the beginning chain for the single crochet. This does not count as a stitch. Then insert the starting ring and make one single crochet. Weave in the starting tail. Make 1 half double crochet. 3 double crochets. One half double crochet. Consider the stitches after the beginning chain as one group. Continue with another group. Make 1 single crochet. 1 half double crochet. 3 double crochets. And 1 half double crochet. The second group is completed. Finish the remaining 2 groups. If you don't have enough space, squeeze the crocheted stitches to the right. Now, slip stitch into the first single crochet stitch. Pull tight. We will consider the side with the clearer texture as the right side. When crocheting in rounds, the right side should always be facing up. Trim any remaining tails on the wrong side. Since we'll change color for the next round, let's fasten off the yarn here. Chain 1 to secure. Enlarge the loop. Leave a 5 cm tail and cut. Pull tight. Hide the tail on the wrong side following the texture. You can secure it with a few more stitches. Trim any excess. This completes round 1. Move on to round 2. Take up the corresponding yarn. Find the middle double crochet of the group from the previous round. Below it, on the wrong side. Pick up 2 strands. To join the yarn. Then chain 5. Slip stitch into 2 strands on the wrong side, below the middle double crochet of the next group. Do not tighten the oval-shaped slip stitch here. Continue by slip stitch below the middle double crochet of each group from the previous round on the wrong side. And chain 5 as a bridge between them. Repeat this process for the remaining part. Finally, join with a slip stitch into the yarn joining point. Round 2 is now completed. Next for round 3, we work with the same yarn. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. 1 single crochet into the next chain space. Weave in any tails you encounter. In the same space, make 1 half double crochet, 1 double crochet, and 1 treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this process 3 times. One treble crochet is complete. Continue with 1 more treble crochet. Yarn over twice. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this process 3 times. Another treble crochet is complete. Work 1 more treble crochet, 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and 1 single crochet. Consider the stitches worked in the chain space as one group. Keep working such groups into these chain spaces all across this round. Slip stitch into the starting single crochet. Fasten off the yarn. Round 3 is completed. Move on to round 4. Join the yarn in the last single crochet of the previous round. Make 1 beginning chain. Then 1 SC2 tog into the following 2 single crochets. First, make 2 unclosed single crochets evenly. Insert the yarn joining point. Draw the yarn through. The first stitch is completed. Insert the entry point of next slip stitch. Draw the yarn through. The second stitch is completed. Finally, yarn over and draw through all the loops. The SC2 tog is completed. Continue to work 1/2 double crochet in the next stitch. One half double crochet and 1 double crochet in the next stitch. One double crochet and 1 treble crochet in the next stitch. One treble crochet in the next stitch. For the following 3 stitches, crochet symmetrically with the right side. As this half double crochet is done, consider the crocheted stitches after the beginning chain as one group. Continue to work another group. First, 1 SC2 tog in the next 2 single crochets. We make 2 unclosed single crochets separately. Yarn over and draw through. The SC2 tog is completed. Then crochet the corresponding stitches into the following stitches. After the half double crochet, the second group is finished. Continue following the chart to crochet the remaining part. Finish with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. Round 4 is completed. Now crochet round 5. Join the yarn in the entry point of slip stitch from the previous round. Start by making 1 special DC5 popcorn. Chain 3 as the beginning chain. And this counts as 1 double crochet. Work 4 more double crochets in the same spot. And release the loop. Insert the topmost chain of the beginning chain. Pick up 2 strands like this. Insert the loop that was released. Draw it through. And push the fabric forward. Chain 1 to secure. This completes 1 DC5 popcorn. Chain 3. Find the first treble crochet on the left. Below it, on the wrong side. Pick up 2 strands. To work 1 slip stitch. And 3 chains. Skip the next stitch. Turn to the wrong side, below the 3rd treble crochet, pick up 2 strands and slip stitch. Chain 3. Consider the crocheted stitches as one group. Crochet another group. Now, 1 DC5 popcorn in the next SC2 tog stitch. Firstly, crochet 5 double crochets. Release the loop. Insert the first double crochet stitch. Draw the loop through. Push the fabric forward. Chain 1 to secure. The DC5 popcorn is completed. Continue with 3 chains. Slip stitch into the spot below the next treble crochet on the wrong side. Chain 3. Slip stitch into the spot below the 3rd treble crochet on the wrong side. Chain 3. The second group is completed. Continue with more groups for the remaining part. Finally, for the starting popcorn stitch, slip stitch into the top of beginning chain to finish. And fasten off the yarn. Round 5 is completed. Move on to round 6. Join the yarn in the chain space of the popcorn right after the tail from the previous round. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. Work 1 single crochet in the same spot. Then 2 single crochets in the next chain space. Slip stitch again into the entry point of next slip stitch. Chain 19. Then slip stitch again in the same spot. Work 2 single crochets in the next chain space. Slip stitch once more into the entry point of next slip stitch. Chain 19. Slip stitch again in the same spot. Work 2 single crochets in the next chain space. Consider the crocheted stitches as one group. Work the remaining part in the same way. For popcorn stitch, work single crochet into the chain space of it like this. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 6 is completed. Now work round 7. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. When the round starts with a single crochet, always chain 1 as the beginning chain. I'll cut this cliche from now. 1 single crochet into the entry point of the next slip stitch. 1 SC2 tog on the left. Then 4 single crochets in the chain space. Work the corresponding number of half double crochets. And 4 single crochets. Skip the next single crochet. For the chain space, work the same stitches as the chain space on the right. After completing, work 1 SC2 tog in the next 2 stitches. Consider the crocheted stitches as one group. Place them evenly. Repeat this process all across this round. Finish with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. Round 7 is completed. Move on to round 8. Join the yarn in the entry point of slip stitch from the previous round. Make 1 single crochet. Skip 1 stitch. Evenly make 2 single crochets. Four half double crochets. Three double crochets. and 1 DC 2-in-1, that is to make 2 double crochets in the same spot. The DC 2-in-1 is completed. Continue with 1 more DC 2-in-1. 3 double crochets. Two DC 2-in-1. Three double crochets. Four half double crochets. And 2 single crochets. Keep going according to the chart. Do not miss any stitches. After this single crochet, skip the next SC2 tog stitch. Consider the crocheted stitches as a group. Continue like this to finish the remaining part. Note that all the SC2 tog stitches from the previous round should be skipped. Finally, join with a slip stitch and fasten off the yarn. This completes round 8. Now, work on round 9. Join the yarn in the entry point of slip stitch from the previous round. Start with 1 TR5 popcorn. Chain 4 to start. This counts as 1 treble crochet. Work 4 more treble crochets in the same spot. Then remove the hook. Insert the top chain of the beginning chain. Draw the loop through. Push the fabric forward. Chain 1 to secure. The TR5 popcorn is now complete. Continue by chain 5. For the next chain space, locate the first half double crochet from round 7. Pick up 2 strands below it, on the wrong side. And locate the corresponding last half double crochet on the left side. Pick up 2 strands below it on the wrong side as well. Slip stitch. And chain 9. For the next chain space, on the wrong side, pick up 2 strands below the first half and the last half double crochet from round 7, and slip stitch. Chain 5. Consider the crocheted stitches as one group. Continue with another group. First, in the middle single crochet of the previous round, which is this single crochet above the DC5 popcorn. Crochet 1 TR5 popcorn. First, crochet 5 treble crochets. Insert the first stitch. Draw the loop through. Chain 1 to secure. The TR5 popcorn is completed. Continue with chain 5. At the flanks of the chain space, on the wrong side, pick up 2 strands below the first and last half double crochet from round 7 and slip stitch. There are no requirements for the direction of picking up strands here. Just make the fabric looks neat and flat after completing. Chain 9. At the flanks of the next chain space, on the wrong side, pick up 2 strands below the first and last half double crochet from round 7 and slip stitch. Chain 5. Repeat the second group all across the remaining part. Finish with a slip stitch and fasten off the yarn. Round 9 is completed. Move on to round 10. On the upper right of the yarn cutting point. From the previous round, locate the third to last half double crochet of round 8. Join the yarn here on the right side. Chain 1 to start. Then insert the same spot. Locate the third half double crochet on the left. Insert its stitch from the wrong side. And work 1 single crochet together. Then for the following stitches, evenly work 5 single crochets. And 1 SC2 in 1. That is to work 2 single crochets in the same spot. SC2 in 1 completed. Continue with 3 single crochets. And 1 SC2 in 1. Repeat once. Work 5 single crochets. Consider the crocheted stitches as one group. Continue with another group. Start by working 1 single crochet in the next stitch, and the third half double crochet on the left in the same time. The hook insert the next stitch from the right side, and insert the required HDC stitch from the wrong. Then make the single crochet. Pick up stitches and evenly work 3 single crochets. For the next single crochet, connect it with the stitch on the right as you go. Take out the hook. Find the second single crochet stitch after this SC2 in 1. Draw the loop through. Return to the current stitch and work 1 single crochet. This completes one connection. Continue with corresponding stitches. After the single crochet into this half double crochet, the second group is completed. You can see the fabric connected. Keep going as the second group. Finish the remaining part according to the chart. Don't forget to connect. After the last SC2 in one of the final group, work 1 more single crochet. And the next single crochet needs to be connected to the second single crochet, before this SC2 in 1. The technique is the same as before. Place the yarn in front. Draw the loop through. Continue to work 3 more single crochet, finish with a slip stitch in the starting single crochet and fasten off. Hook the tail to the wrong side. Weave it in into the texture. The popcorn should be on the right side. Make the piece flat and neat. Round 10 is completed. Move on to round 11. Find the connecting single crochet from the previous round. Insert the chain space and join yarn. Make 1 T or 7 popcorn. First, chain 4. Consider it as 1 treble crochet, 6 more treble crochet in the same spot. Then insert the top chain. Draw the loop through. Chain 1 to secure. The T or 7 popcorn is completed. Chain 7. Find the middle double crochet of round 8, on top of this chain space. Pick up 2 strands of it around the middle of the stem on the wrong side and slip stitch. Continue with chain 7. Consider the crocheted stitches as one group. Continue with another group. First, pick up the whole of the connection. To make 1 T or 7 popcorn. 7 treble crochet, first. Draw the loop through. Chain 1 to secure. The T or 7 popcorn is completed. Chain 7. Find the middle double crochet of round 8, on top of this chain space. Pick up 2 strands of it around the middle of the stem on the wrong side and slip stitch. Continue with 7 chains. The second group is completed. Keep going just as the second group, all across the round following the chart. Finish with a slip stitch, and fasten off the yarn. Round 11 is completed. Now crochet round 12. Join the yarn in the chain space after the tail from the previous round. Chain 3 as the beginning chain. Crochet 8 double crochets in the same chain space. Crochet 9 double crochets in the next chain space. Continue to work 9 double crochet for each of the following chain spaces, all across this round. Finish with a slip stitch in the beginning chain. Here we work into 2 strands of the top chain. Fasten off the yarn. Round 12 is completed. Continue with round 13. Join the yarn in the beginning chain of the previous round. Chain 3 as the beginning chain. 1 double crochet into the same spot. To form a special DC 2-in-1. Continue to crochet double crochet evenly. The next stitch may be puckered, don't miss it. After the double crochets for these 2 chain spaces, one group is done. For the next group, work in the same way. Pay attention to work the first stitch as 1 DC 2-in-1. Then, repeat this process for the round. Join with a slip stitch, and fasten off the yarn. Round 13 is completed. Now, crochet round 14. Join the yarn in the beginning chain. Chain 3 as the beginning chain, which matches the beginning chain below. Now crochet 5 double crochets evenly. and chain 2. Skip 2 stitches. Continue crocheting the corresponding stitches. After the DC 2 in 1, consider the crocheted stitches as one group. Repeat the group for this round. Finish with a slip stitch. Round 14 is completed. Continue with round 15. Chain 3 as the beginning chain. Pick up the stitches and crochet the corresponding stitches. For chain spaces, pick up the chain spaces and crochet the corresponding stitches. Continue following the chart. To complete this round, finish with a slip stitch. Round 15 is completed. For round 16 to 24, crochet them in rounds following the chart. Change color for the corresponding rounds. For round 16, the slip stitch needs to be worked into the top chain of beginning chain. Count from down to up to find the third chain. Do not work into this bridge chain. There is a special position between two groups. You see these 2 double crochets are worked in the adjacent stitches, and the rest double crochets are all followed by 1 skipped stitch. Make sure the stitch count is correct. For round 18, the slip stitch also needs to be worked into the top chain of beginning chain. Please follow the chart to complete these rounds. Finally, fasten off the yarn. Next, crochet the gussets. There are 4 in total. All worked back and forth in the corresponding positions. Please watch the video. First, crochet row 1 of the first gusset. Find the 12th stitch from the tail of round 24. Note that the beginning chain counts as 1 stitch. Join the yarn here. Chain 3 as the beginning chain. Skip the next 2 stitches, work 1 double crochet and 1 DC3 in 1. That is to work 3 double crochets into the same spot. The DC3 in 1 completed. Now, skip 2 stitches, 1 double crochet and 1 DC3 in 1. Repeat this process 4 times. After that, skip this DC3 in 1. Into the same stitch, crochet 3 double crochets. Three chains and 3 double crochets. Now crochet symmetrically according to the chart. After the last double crochet, row 1 is finished. Continue to crochet row 2. Start with chain 4. You can crochet slightly looser. Turn the piece counterclockwise. Skip the following 2 DC 3 in 1. Crochet 3 double crochets in the gap. Continue to crochet 3 double crochets evenly for each gap. For the chain space, crochet 3 double crochets. Three chains and 3 double crochets. Crochet symmetrically according to the chart. Work the last treble crochet into the beginning chain. Row 2 is completed. For the next 2 rows, work back and forth just like we did for the first 2 rows. For the edges, work beginning chains and treble crochets. For the gaps and chain spaces, crochet the corresponding stitches. See, for the last row, we do all treble crochets. The edges can be worked slightly loose. This will form a right angle at the corners of the fabric. Fasten off. Please finish it following the chart. Look. This is what it looks like after one gusset is completed. Crochet the remaining gussets in the same way. Double check the yarn joining points on the chart. Don't get them wrong. Look. This is what it looks like after the gussets completed. Now crochet round 25. Find the gusset before the tail of round 24. Join the yarn in the chain space of last row. Chain 1 as the beginning chain. 3 single crochets in the same spot. Then pick up the stitches and work single crochets evenly. Note that on the wrong side, the stitches are on the upper left. For the chain space, pick it up and work 3 single crochets. Work 3 single crochets on the stem of next treble crochet. Work 4 single crochets for the next beginning chain. Work 2 single crochets for the next double crochet. Work 1 single crochet into the entry point here. Continue to work single crochets evenly into the stitches. For beginning chains, work into the entry points of slip stitches. Crochet symmetrically for the next gusset. Don't forget to weave in the tails. Work 3 single crochets in the final chain space. Consider these single crochets as one side. Check the stitch count on this side. Chain 3. Consider these as one corner. Now move on to crochet the next side. The technique is the same. Note that the first 3 single crochets should be worked in the same chain space. Finish the round according to the chart. Finish with a slip stitch. Fasten off the yarn. Hide all the tails on the wrong side. This completes round 25. Compare the size of your worked piece with the data on the chart. If there is a significant difference, you can adjust your tension and rework the last few rounds and the gussets. We want the finished project to be in a proper size. Finally, we make the decorations. We have decorations of slip stitches, leaves, beans, and butterflies. Start with the slip stitches. Place the crocheted piece, with the right side facing up, below the middle stitch on the side of the last round. Find this color change junction above the popcorn here. Mark it with a water-soluble pen. Mark the other 3 dots similarly. Then draw a square by connecting 4 marks. You can use a ruler for assistance. If you want to erase them, gently wipe with a wet tissue. Let it dry before redrawing. Take out the corresponding yarn. For the decoration of slip stitches here, we take yarn from both the center and the outer ring of the skein. Combine and work with them as one strand. Start joining the yarn in one intersection. Then slip stitches along the line. There are no specific requirements for the entry points, just make them into a straight line. Slightly enlarge the loops. Don't crochet too tight. We don't want the fabric to pucker. Keep working. Until you reach the next intersection. Chain 11. Insert the same spot. Draw the yarn through. And pull a piece of it out to the right side. Chain with it. And pull the yarn back to the wrong side. And slip stitch form this intersection. Make sure the right side of chains is facing up. Complete the square like this. After the final chain, enlarge the loop. Leave a 15 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Thread the needle. Go through the intersection to the wrong side. Tidy up the chain ring. Ensure the right sides of them is facing up. Sew through the strand on its back to the fabric. Shape the chain ring into an oval. The junction below should be neat. Finally, tie off and weave in the ends. Hide the starting tail as well. Sew and secure the other chain rings in the same way. Here, we work with the same color yarn. For the junction below, sew them together. Please finish the decoration of slip stitches. Next, let's make the leaves. We will start with the foundation chain and work along it. Connect both ends to the corresponding position on the motif. Please watch the video. Start with the foundation chain. Then chain 1 as the beginning chain. Enlarge the loop. Find the double crochet in the middle of round 2 below a chain ring like this. The position here may not be correct. Check your actual project. Just ensure the pattern matches nicely. Hook the loop through to the left behind this double crochet. Then, for the second to last chain, slip stitch into the back ridge. Now, for the following back ridges, crochet evenly 1 single crochet, 1/2 double crochet, 7 double crochets, one-half double crochet, 1 single crochet, and 1 slip stitch. Next, rotate the fabric. Pick up the middle stitch of the popcorn below. And slip stitch. Go back to the beginning chain. Slip stitch into the top chain. For the other side of the foundation chain, work the stitches symmetrically into the entry points of crocheted stitches. Weave in the tail. After the last slip stitch around the starting point. Enlarge the loop. Leave a 5 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Trim any excess. Pass the tail under the double crochets. Secure it following the texture on the wrong side. With a few more stitches. This completes one leaf. Place the right side with clearer texture facing up. Crochet the remaining leaves in the same way, in positions like this. Please finish them all. The leaves are done. Next, move on to the beans. There are 4 in total, and will be crocheted on the remaining popcorn from round 11. Find a popcorn like this. Join the yarn in the middle stitch. Chain 5 to start. Work 1 unclosed double triple crochet in the same spot. Yarn over for 3 times. Insert the hook. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this process 3 times. The unclosed double triple crochet is now complete. Continue with 7 more unclosed double triple crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through all the loops. Push the fabric forward. Enlarge the loop. Leave a 10 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Thread the needle. Sew neatly through 2 strands under this slip stitch. Keep it centered. And make the fabric flat. You can sew twice or more to secure. Sew through loops like this. Then go to the wrong side. Knot and hide all the tails on the wrong side. It won't be difficult for you. 1 bean is now complete. Crochet the remaining 3 in the same way. Finally, let's crochet the butterfly, which consists of the antenna, the left and right wings, the left and right tails, and dots in 3 sizes, large, medium, and small. Crochet each part separately, then sew them onto the fabric. Let's make it together. Start by crocheting the antenna. Find the bean under the decoration of slip stitches. On flanks of this slip stitch above it. Crochet 1 antenna each. Leave about 2 cm between them. You may mark the positions first. The placement on the sample is random. Start with the right one. The hook goes behind the braid of slip stitch. Insert the entry point of it. Pick up several strands like this. To join the yarn. Then chain 4. In the same spot, crochet 1 unclosed treble crochet, yarn over twice. Insert. Draw the yarn through. Yarn over and draw through the first 2 loops. Repeat this process twice. The unclosed treble crochet is done. In the same spot, crochet 2 more unclosed treble crochets. Finally, yarn over and draw through in once. Chain 1 to secure. 1 antenna is now completed. Enlarge the loop. Leave a 10 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Next, on the left marker, crochet another antenna in the same way. Finally, tidy up the antennas. Hook the tails to the wrong side, through flanks of these 2 stitches on the upper middle. Go through somewhere around. And leave a space in between. Once done, tie a knot. Hook the starting tail to the wrong side as well. Secure them all on the wrong side. A pair of antenna is now completed. Crochet the other 3 pairs in the same way. Next, let's work the left and right wings. We'll make a foundation chain to start. And crochet along. But the 2 wings will be crocheted slightly differently. Here, let's make the left one first. For the left wing, chain 12 to start. For round 1, chain 1 as the beginning chain. Slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. And crochet according to the chart. For the last chain, 1 single crochet, 2 chains and 1 single crochet, for the other side of the foundation chain, crochet stitches symmetrical to the previous side. After the final slip stitch, for the beginning chain, which is here, pick up 2 strands and slip stitch to finish. Pull tight. Fasten off the yarn. Round 1 is complete. We will consider the side with the clearer texture as the right side. Move on to round 2. First, join the yarn in the entry point of slip stitch from the previous round. Work 1 single crochet in the same spot. Work 1 single crochet in the braid of the next slip stitch. It might be out of shape. Make sure to insert the right position. Pick up stitches to work the corresponding stitches. Work 5 double crochets in the chain space at the tip. After that, continue to work the corresponding stitches for the following stitches. After the half double crochet for the final slip stitch, work 1 single crochet in the entry point of the starting single crochet. Join with a slip stitch in the starting single crochet stitch. Round 2 is complete. Continue with round 3. First, chain as the chart required. Then chain 1 more as the beginning chain. Slip stitch into the second chain from the hook. Continue to work the corresponding stitches for the following back ridges. After the chains, starting in the stitch after the entry point of slip stitch from the previous round, pick up stitches to work the corresponding stitches. That is, start crocheting from the second single crochet, after the first DC 3-in-1 for the tip. Work 3 treble crochets in the next stitch. Keep working according to the chart. After the half double crochets, slip stitch into the back ridge of the following 4 stitches, which means working into this strand farther away from you. Once done, we're at the chains. Find the 4th chain, which is the entry position for the DC 2-in-1. Work 1 slip stitch. Pick up the remaining 2 strands of the chains and crochet the corresponding stitches. After the last slip stitch, Join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Enlarge the loop. Leave a 40 cm tail and fasten off the yarn. Tidy up. Round 3 is now complete. And the left wing is also finished. Continue with the right wing. Round 1 is the same as round 1 of the left one. Please finish it. Then move on to round 2. Join yarn in the entry point of slip stitch from the previous round. Work 2 single crochets in the same spot. Then 1/2 double crochet into the braid of next slip stitch. Now follow the chart for the corresponding stitches. The technique is similar to the corresponding position on the left wing. The last single crochet goes into the slip stitch braid, then join with a slip stitch in the starting stitch. Round 2 is complete. Now for round 3. Chain 19. Then chain 1 more as the beginning chain. Crochet the corresponding stitches starting in the second chain from the hook. When there are 3 chains left, starting in the second single crochet from the previous round, pick up the back ridges to crochet 4 slip stitches evenly. Then pick up the stitches to crochet the corresponding stitches. Skip the entry point of slip stitch. Continue crocheting on the chains. And by joining with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Leave a 40 cm tail and fasten off the yarn. The right wing is now completed. And the wings are finished. Let's move on to the left and right tails. We will start them with a foundation chain and crochet in rounds counterclockwise. The techniques for both tail are similar. Let's work the left tail together. First, chain 10. And chain 1 more as the beginning chain. Crochet the corresponding stitches, starting in the second chain from the hook. Work 6 double crochets in the last chain. Then work on the other side. After the last 2 slip stitches, join with a slip stitch into the beginning chain. Leave a 20 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. The left tail is now completed. The right one is crocheted in a similar way, but the number of slip stitches is different. Please follow the chart to complete it. That concludes the tails. Next, let's make the dots. There are 3 sizes of them: large, medium, and small. All are started with the magic ring, and crocheted in rounds counterclockwise. After that, sew them onto the corresponding positions on the fabric. Let's work the small one together. Now, make a magic ring by wrapping the yarn around your finger. Then chain 1 as the beginning chain. 4 single crochets into the magic ring. Then close the magic ring. Enlarge the loop. Leave a 20 cm tail, and fasten off the yarn. Thread the needle. Go under the beginning stitch. Then back to the braid where the tail is. And through to the wrong side. Adjust it. This kind of closing leaves no visible traces and makes the texture neater. We will consider the side with the braid-like texture as the right side. Now 1 small dot is crocheted. The remaining dots can be crocheted in the same way. Finally, we need to sew up all parts of the butterfly. Start by the dots. Following the chart, place the right size dots at the proper positions on the fabric. Place all pieces with their right sides facing up. Here, I'll sew on the small spot as an example. First, check the chart to determine the position. The starting tail can be tucked to the wrong side. Then sew along the stitches. After securing it firmly, tie off the tail on the wrong side and hide it. All dots can be sewn on like this. Next, place the wings with dots and tails on flanks of the antennas. Place them with the right sides facing up. Here, due to the tension variety, the position of the decorations of slip stitches may differ slightly. Just place the butterfly around here properly. Make it neat and symmetrical. You may adjust the position according to your own situation. For the sample, only one tail fin was crocheted. Make sure not to miss it for your actual project. Then, secure the wrong sides of the wings and tails onto the fabric. Here, I'll sew on the tail as an example. At the proper position. Sew through the strands nearby. Do not show any sewing traces on the right side. Adjust the position while sewing. Place the pieces properly. After that, tie off and weave in the ends. Sew the remaining parts using the same method. It won't be difficult for you. The decorations are all done. Sew as motif A.